Welcome to this explainer of Robert Jordan's absolute behemoth of a fantasy epic, The Wheel of Time. Today, we are going to distill 3,000 years of incredibly rich, complex lore and the thrilling, terrifying journey of Book 1, The Eye of the World, into one clear, focused presentation. Whether you're a returning fan or just someone who loves deep, detailed world building, you are definitely in the right place. Let's dive in.
Here is the roadmap for our journey today. We'll start with the history of the wheel, then the desperate flight from Emond's Field, how our heroes are separated by the shadows, their reunion and the ways, the climactic battle at the Eye, and finally, the realization that the dragon is reborn.
All right, Section 1, History of the Wheel.
To understand why our heroes are so important, you really got to wrap your head around this concept called Ta'veren. Think of the universe as a massive tapestry, right? The pattern. It's woven by the turning of the Wheel of Time. Most of us are just ordinary threads, but every so often, the wheel spins out a Ta'veren. These individuals literally bend reality, probability, and destiny around them just to restore cosmic balance. They don't just live in the world actively reshapes itself to fit their needs, often totally overriding what they actually want.
And this leads us to the central, gripping tension of the entire lore. The magic system here, the One Power, is fundamentally broken. It's split right down the middle. Saidar, the female half, is completely safe. It's wielded by this powerful order of women called the Aes Sedai. But Satan, the male half, well, it was tainted by the Dark One, meaning any man born with a spark to touch the magic source is absolutely doomed. He will inevitably go violently, uncontrollably insane, and destroy everything he loves.
So how did that happen? We're talking over 3,000 years ago, during a literal utopia called the Age of Legends. An experiment goes horribly wrong and accidentally bores a hole into the Dark One's prison. Massive war breaks out. The leader of the Light, Lews Therin Telemann, known as the Dragon, actually manages to seal the Dark One away. But in his dying counterattack, the Dark One taints that male magic. Lews Therin and every male magic user instantly go mad, and they quite literally tear the planet apart. It's an apocalyptic event called the Breaking of the World. Humanity has been stuck in this paranoid, fractured Third Age ever since.
Which brings us to a terrifying prophecy. The dragon, the exact guy who broke the world, is destined to be reborn to fight the Dark One again. 20 years before our story even kicks off, an Aes Sedai named Gitara Moroso has this chilling vision right before she drops dead. And this deeply guarded secret sets off a desperate, grueling 20-year search by Moiraine, another Aes Sedai. She has to find this reborn savior who, remember, is guaranteed to go mad before the shadow gets to him first.
Okay, moving right along. Section 2, Flight from Emond's Field.
Moraine's relentless search finally lands her in a sleepy village called Emond's Field, and she finds not one, but 3 young men born at the exact right time, Rand, Mat, and Perrin. The kicker? They are all Ta'veren. But before she can even figure out which one of them is the actual prophesied dragon, all hell breaks loose. Nightmarish, mythical monsters called Trollocs attack the village. Moiraine has to literally flee into the night with the 3 boys, plus Egwene and the village healer Nynaeve, who, surprise, both unknowingly have the spark to use magic themselves.
And man, this escape from the 2 rivers is just relentless. They aren't just outrunning mindless Trollocs. They're being hunted by Myrddraal, these eyeless, terrifying commanders whose very gaze paralyzes you with supernatural fear, and Draghkar, which are basically flying horrors that suck your soul right out of you before eating your body. Completely exhausted and out of options, the group makes a wildly desperate gamble. They hide out in Shadar Logoth. It's a ruined city corrupted by an ancient evil that is so profound, even the monsters chasing them are too terrified to step inside.
Which brings us to Section 3, Separated by the Shadows. So while they're hiding out in this horribly cursed city, Mat does something really foolish. He pockets a cursed ruby dagger from a treasure hoard. This instantly awakens Mashadar, the city's ancient, creepy, evil mist. Trollocs are suddenly breaching the walls, this deadly mist is closing in, and in the sheer panic of the dead of night, the group is violently split into 3 separate paths, leaving them totally isolated and incredibly vulnerable. Every single splintered group just goes through absolute hell. Rand and Mat are hunted from town to town by dark friends, basically human servants of the shadow. Their traveling buddy, a gleeman named Tom, even seemingly sacrifices his own life fighting a Myrddraal just so they can get away. Meanwhile, Perrin and Egwene are wandering the wilderness. Perrin actually discovers he has a terrifying psychic connection to wolves, but then they get captured by these militaristic zealots called the White Cloaks. And Nynaeve, she's tracking with Moraine, having to confront the shocking reality that she can use magic, and together they pull off this daring rescue to save Perrin and Egwene from execution.
That brings us to Section 4, Reunion and the Ways.
By some absolute miracle, they all converge in the magnificent city of Caemlyn. Rand's been having a dizzying time there. He befriends this giant, book-loving Ogier named Loyal and literally falls off a wall right into the lap of the royal family. When Moraine and the rest finally show up, she uses her magic to temporarily suppress the terrible sickness that's been eating Mat alive from that cursed dagger. But there's zero time to catch their breath. Moraine pieces together that the Dark One is racing to destroy a deeply mystical site known as the Eye of the World.
Here's the problem. They are completely out of time. Traveling normally would take months that they just don't have. So they're forced to take the scariest shortcut imaginable through the Ways. This is an extra-dimensional travel network built thousands of years ago, but it has horribly, horribly decayed. It's pitch black, it's crumbling, and it's haunted by Machine Shin, the Black Wind, an entity that literally strips the flesh and soul from anyone it catches. They just barely survive the crossing, popping out in the Borderlands just one step ahead of the Shadow.
And that leads right into Section 5, Battle at the Eye.
Deep inside this totally corrupted wilderness, guided by sheer need, they actually find it. The Eye of the World. It is an absolute miracle, a massive hidden reservoir of pure, completely untainted male magic, guarded by the legendary Green Man. But of course, they aren't alone. Two of the Forsaken, these immensely powerful, ancient magic users sworn to the Dark One, who were just recently freed, are waiting right there to claim the Eye for themselves. Absolute chaos breaks loose. The Green Man sacrifices himself to take out one of the Forsaken. As the other one, Aginor, reaches for that immense pool of power, pure survival instinct kicks in for Rand. Driven to his absolute limit, Rand reaches out and instinctively channels the One power. He taps right into the Eye, utterly obliterating Aginor. Operating purely on instinct now, Rand teleports to a nearby battlefield, uses the magic to wipe out an invading Trolloc army, and finally strikes a blinding blow against the dark entity that's been haunting his dreams. Finally, Section 6, The Dragon is Reborn. When the dust settles, the magical pool of the Eye is completely drained. At the bottom, they find ancient mythical relics, the Horn of Valor, a broken piece of the Dark One's prison, and the dragon's own banner. But honestly, those physical treasures pale in comparison to the psychological toll. Rand wakes up to a crushing, inescapable realization. He channeled. He touched the male half of the power. Based on literally everything he knows, he is now condemned to an agonizing descent into total madness. Watching all of this unfold, Moraine privately confirms the truth she's been hunting for over 2 decades. Her grueling 20-year quest is finally over. This innocent sheepherder from the Two Rivers, Rand al'Thor, is indeed the prophesied savior. He is the Dragon Reborn. And this leaves us with the ultimate, terrifying paradox that's going to drive the rest of this epic journey. Rand absolutely must wield this unimaginably powerful, tainted magic to defeat the Dark One. It's literally the only way to save humanity. But can he do it? Can he master his power and fulfill his destiny before that inevitable ticking clock madness destroys everything he's trying to protect? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I highly encourage you to ponder that exact question as you delve deeper into the pattern.